All right, let's try this. So apparently I went live twice today and just realized that it was in a, I was like, why isn't nobody coming on at all? I was on for 20 minutes on one and a little bit for the other one. And apparently I had it on private. So nobody got to see the lives earlier. I apologize about that. But it is what it is. Well, hopefully that'll be better now that we are able to do this and actually be live. I'm trying to get a little bit of the bridge, but there we go. That'll work. So I figured we'd chat while we have a little bit of the scenery. It's no point in just showing me because I'm just in the van and not feeling very well today at all, but I'm alive. That's all that matters. But I figured we'll sit here and see if we can work on get some hours and talk if anybody wants to chat. Anybody doesn't know, I'm a homeless type 1 diabetic living in my van. The chat is open. I'm just going to sit here and relax and chat a little bit. Hopefully everybody's had a good night, and eventually this is... Oh, just sitting in a van. I haven't felt good lately. I went live twice today, and I found out that it was both on private. I was like, why am I getting no viewers? So I was like, I just got done getting some food. I did get a $17 Cash App earlier. It was able to get me some fuel and some food, and by the fuel places, right? You know, right this little dock area. So I was like, this is where actually what we're looking at right now is it's part of the ICW. And this is where my boat used to be parked when I had one back a long time ago down here. So it's kind of like a stress-free spot for me. But I've just been very sick the last few days. Haven't been doing very well at all on, you know, food and whatnot. They do have food banks around here, but the only thing I can't cook anything. So what they give you usually is breads, meats. I can't eat a lot of bread, I'm a diabetic. And they give you sweets, can't eat that. And the rest of it's going to be stuff you need to cook or keep cold. I have tried the food banks. They are just not very good. So I haven't been eating very well at all. I do have to meet with the Brevard Homeless Association or whatever it's called, Brevard Health, some about my health stuff. And there might be a way that they can help me considering my diabetes, but I have to wait for my appointment with them. Everything, you know, takes time, and there's a lot of homeless people around here. So it's not exactly a one-step fast-fit-all type thing, but you know, being homeless and type 1 diabetes is definitely a huge struggle. I don't remember the last time I even got a shower. I found out today, I talked to the health society, and they told me where I can go shower. So I did find a place where I can go shower. I have to make an appointment with that place to get signed in, to get registered through them to be able to do that. But which would be amazing because it's been a while. It's horrible. It's gross. I'm just getting over this horrible headache. I think I'm getting that. I'm supposed to, when I went to the doctor, when I got diagnosed with diabetes, they told me, you know, like, for diabetes, you're supposed to eat like 5 small meals a day. Well, I can't afford barely one meal a day. Lately, I haven't been able to afford any. So it's been, I think that's the reason why my sugars are so off, because I'm not eating the proper way. So my body's fighting that, which is causing me to lose a lot of muscle mass and lose a lot of weight, unfortunately. And because I have to keep up on top of that. If once you don't have any sugars for it to go after, it starts attacking muscles or some weird stuff like that. I'm still learning diabetes, but they explained it to me some way. I just don't remember exactly how. But it's a beautiful night tonight. The last 2 nights have been cold. I was sneezing, and I don't know what it was, allergies in the air or something, or I was getting sick. But it was down in the with the wind chill factor, it's down in the high 20s. Regular temperature was like 35 or 36 or something like that it got down to. But tonight's going to be up into the mid 40s, so it's going to be not nearly as bad. It's actually quite a beautiful night out tonight, so from what we've had. I'm definitely appreciative of that. I have work starting the 1st, and that's a decent sized job, which is going to lead to other jobs. But getting by for these next week and next week and a half is what I've got to figure out. I mean, like my car insurance is already due. That's going to get canceled anytime, which means if they pull me over, they'll impound my van, which is going to be horrible. And I'm going to be out on the street, so that's a struggle. That's a stress. I got to figure out food. I got to figure out everything. It's just, I just wish I was, more prepared for being in the situation. But I still need to. Once I can come up with money, I can cook. I have a stovetop. I just don't have money for a pot and a pan yet. That'll help out a lot too. And then I can actually cook because I do have a little burner, but I haven't been able to use it yet really because I don't have pans. So that's been a struggle. Maybe one of these places that are gonna, I've got to talk to, have some type of resources for that. I don't know. I would love to be able to afford to try to get a cooler in here and be able to stay in ice. So one, my insulin's getting hot all the time, which is very bad for my insulin. But man, I love sitting here. The water is one of the most peaceful, relaxing places you can ever be. Unfortunately, I can't sleep right here. They do have no overnight parking right here, but I am able to sit here for a long time at least and relax and get my mind right. But I know I have a house to paint on the 1st. I cannot wait for that to start. Things have been, just gotta try to make it to the 1st. Once I get there, then that's at least a 4-day job, which will pay, enough for me to survive almost a month. At least for food, fuel, and stuff like that. I won't be able to save any of it, but I'll be able to live off that for a while. It's a beautiful view out here, Danny. This is actually where, like I said, if you said you just started tuning in, I used to have I'm gonna actually just pan over real fast. It's not far, but if you look out that way towards those red blinking lights, probably about, I don't know, a football field and a half is where I used to have my old boat, when I used to live in my boat. So this is kind of like my relaxing spot. This used to be my view every day. It was amazing. There's docks right down below where you can park your skiff and all that during the day. You're allowed to park here, for the night. Not overnight, but you park down the road overnight, but while you're going back and forth or whatever. It's a nice little anchorage area. I'll take a video of it during the day tomorrow so you guys can see exactly what the view of that during the day looks like. It's a very beautiful place. This is part of the ICW, which if anybody doesn't know what that means, it's Intercoastal Waterway. It's a very long stretch that goes from Miami way up to past North Carolina and all that. You can, it's just the inlet in between the ocean and land, so it's like a little strip in between. So it's very beautiful. I've been down a lot of the ICW and whatnot. It's very beautiful. When I bought my boat that I had here, I got it from Stuart, Florida. So I took it from up the ICW all the way from Stuart to here, which is roughly 100 and some miles. But it was very nice, very, very nice. But like I was saying, I went live twice today and found out that I was like, why am I not getting any views? I had them on private apparently. So I went because I tried to cover what's his name, JRL Investigates a little bit today, and I was like getting no views at all, and I was like, what the heck is this? And then I realized it was on private, so I kind of messed that up. But it is what it is. It's also really hard for me to just, I will restream him sometimes, especially with big things coming, but most people want to watch it on his channel and support him. So when I do it, I stream normally, like when I was doing these, I was streaming for 20 to 30 hours a week and getting very little views because most people were over there. Now, we used to be able to have when big things happen, a lot of, we get a lot of views. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the chat. We're having a beautiful relaxation by the water night. Trying to de-stress. This has been a very stressful week. So we're going to enjoy the view, chat up a little bit. Anybody who doesn't know my situation, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about, where I'm going from here, what I'm trying to do. Just trying to survive, really, just gonna make it another week and a half, and then I got this big job coming up. Like I said, it's not a huge job, but it's gonna be enough to support me for, like I said, probably closer to 3 weeks. But that'll be where I have food every day for 3 weeks, and I can eat at least a meal a day. I'm not to the point where I can eat like I'm supposed to yet. I'm supposed to, like I said, eat 5 small meals a day, and that's just impossible. Hard enough to eat 1 small meal a day. Most days I just have crackers and peanut butter all day, and that's just, I think that's a lot of the reason why I'm feeling sick. I'm not getting a lot of the nutrition I'm supposed to be having. And with type 1 diabetes, it's, being, your nutrition is like life-threatening. You have to eat right. I'm really going to work hard to try to get some pans this week somehow. So, because like I said, I do have a burner. I just don't have any pans to cook on yet. Once I get onto a boat eventually, regardless of how I do it, that's going to be my goal, and I'm going to continue to save until I get to that goal. I'll have, a stove and a refrigerator and all that happy stuff. I can set it up with solar. That's how I had my last boat. It was very, very, very nice. But, we're just trying to, figure, I don't know why I always say where. I am just trying to figure out everything the best I possibly can with what I have. And I've been really, like I said, and I apologize for not going live as much lately. I have been really sick. My body is just, very weak right now. And I'm not eating properly at all, so it's just been draining me. But I'm trying my best. But I'm grateful for everything I have. I'm grateful for the people we have here. I appreciate every single one of you. Yeah, the West Coast is beautiful too. This is definitely the East Coast. I like the West Coast of Florida. The coast over there is a little bit warmer. You have a lot more mangroves and stuff like that, but you also have a lot of bluer water. And the Gulf of Mexico is so warm. But we still need 950 hours to be monetized. We're getting there, but like I said, I was restreaming, JRL Investigates and all that, and we would do the streams and all that. It was still nice to do them, but we're only making like 10 or 14 hours per stream when I'm streaming for 4 or 5 hours, because the viewership isn't, because I'm still dealing with this stupid strike. It's not a strike, but being shadow banned from the strike. So I haven't been able to get my numbers like we used to. Once that goes away, eventually, they said it, once your strike gets over, within a few months, it subsides, but it's just getting there has been a pain in the butt. I've got, 1,500 hours almost in one stream before but they took away those hours. So it's definitely be able to. Yeah, he's in Tucson. He's doing a heck of a job out there. I like him. He's a great guy. I mean, he's putting a lot of effort in there. I mean, he goes live every day for like 12 hours, and he just has a massive audience. He's making bank off of ads and stuff like that for his monetization. He's doing great. He deserves it. He's well out there. He's doing a great thing for the community. I like restreaming him. Like I said, I'm not getting my numbers right now, so it's like, it's kind of hard. Plus, like, main reason, I just haven't felt well. I feel like my body's getting eaten alive by myself. So, like, it's been a little rough, But I'm trying my best, and all I can do is continue to look forward and try to make things happen. I'm posting every day. Tuesday, a gentleman he needs some yard stuff done, so we're going to sit down and have lunch together on Tuesday, and he's going to go over some photos and the ideas he wants done and see if I can help him with it. So that might be another thing to look at. Yeah, I like him too. Very, very, he's very good. So I am working on leads and all that for work. It's hard to get a regular job right now. I don't have a social security card or a birth certificate. I only have my license. So it's really led me to this. And it's also a little bit easier to do my own stuff right now with me being sick a lot. I can't really start a new job. Hey, I'm sick already. With owning my own company, I can the people I work for know my situation. I explain everything up front, like, listen, this is what I can do, this is what we can work on, this is how we can get it done, I will get it done as fast as I can. But if this happens, this is what, it's because of this reason. So jobs aren't usually as lenient as customers. And I'm charging a very cheap rate right now anyways, just because, I don't know, I need it, I'm not trying to make, well, I'm not legalized either, so I'm not trying to make it off anyone either without me being completely legalized. Eventually my prices will go up to be what they need to be, but it is what it is, I guess. But I'm trying the hardest at working on things. I am putting on Nextdoor app works really well. I don't know if any of you guys have tried it or not, but it works really well if you're looking for work. Like I said, I post in that every day. I've had some good responses. Yes, we need a new dog. That was, I am so pissed. So I'm going to explain the situation and how this went down for anybody who doesn't know. So I got this job. So for this lady, and I charged her 8 hours worth of labor at $20 an hour, which is ridiculously low for anybody who knows labor. That's what McDonald's pays, No, it's just the prices nowadays, they're more expensive. So I did this job for this lady. One, I had to dig out her old mailbox, put a new mailbox in concrete, level that out, did that. Cut her grass, weed whacked her grass, raked and shoveled 5 trash bags worth of dog crap. Like, not regular trash bags, big, huge things. And full of that and just debris and junk and nasty stuff, because her yard was disgusting. And I completely got it looking really good for her. And she was mad because I tried to charge her $200 and she would only pay me $50. And then, so she gave me the dog before I even started that. And she would only give me the $50 and wanted the dog back. So I kind of got screwed on that. Which, unfortunately, even just to live, it cost me $25 a day, really. That covers a little bit of fuel that to drive back and forth out of the store, get I get a drink of coffee in the morning, and that gets me water and my food for the day. So it didn't last very long, unfortunately, but she completely screwed me. And then like I said, she wanted the dog back and all that, and I wasn't gonna fight with her over it. She's like, well, I did mention, I was like, you did give him to me and you knew my situation, but now you're saying because I live in my van you don't feel comfortable with it. But I just really think that she wanted it, to use the dog as collateral to try to get a cheap job done. I don't know, but at the same time, I'll find another one. I'm gonna wait a little bit till I have more money coming in right now. I was hoping with that job I'd have, for $200 I can live, a week and a half, and that would have brought me over till, I needed, till I got the painting job done. So it would have worked out well, but I want to wait till I get a little bit more now, just because I need to make sure I have enough to survive. Like I said, it's right around $25 a day just to survive, and that's eating one meal. It's just so expensive, everything nowadays. You get a burger and a drink, that's $12 right there, and then you got to put in my van just to drive it each day is about another $8 to drive it every day, to go back and forth to where I sleep, to where I can park in a cool area. I can't just sit in the hot parking lot all day, so I got to go drive to where there's shade, and then drive to get food and all that. And then keeping up on liquids is really important here, so that gets expensive too. So it's just, that lady was something else. She has like 8 monkeys and her house is full of crap and just everything is nasty, and I just think she just tries to use whatever she can. And the monkeys are great, the animals are great, but I think and I should have known better, because she was telling me all these bad stories about all these other bad people, and usually when somebody has so many bad stories, it's because they're making them bad and they're in their mind. I think she's got, honestly, has something wrong with her in her head a little bit. I pray for her to be healthy and good, and I don't wish bad luck on nobody or nothing like that, but it was a shitty thing to do. Today was going to be a little bit warmer. It was in the 60s today. Last night was, like I said, it got down to 28 degrees with the wind chill factor last night. Tonight's in the mid 40s and then back up to the 70s and 80s by the next couple days. So it's going to be hot again. We got some rain, a little bit of rain coming in here and there, but pretty much mid to upper 70s, a couple days in the 80s. We're doing really nice on weather now. Last 2 nights have been very cold. Even during the day it was windy and cold, but we're just getting out of that. Good thing about Florida, when we have bad weather, like cold weather, it only lasts for 2 or 3 days. Once those 2 or 3 days are up, it goes back to the 70s and 80s all winter. We'll have a couple cold days out of the month, but that's it. It's really not that bad. It was very cold last night. Don't get me wrong, but I've definitely done colder. So living in the car and up north was horrible. But oh man, I'll show you guys another view real fast. Where's my little thingamajiggy right there? So these, oh crapper, let me see if I can get to it. I'm trying. There we go. That's where I wish I would live. This is like, that's the view to the side. It's beautiful. These are all very, 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 very expensive condos. No, bring it back, guys, over here to the water. But let's see if I can get this back up here now. All right, hold on. Sorry. Oh, nope, not that way. This way. There we go. All right. Sorry. I don't know where Witness is. Hopefully he's doing all right. He might be resting. But I did when I owned my own junk removal company. Like I said, I used to live here a while ago. I owned my own junk removal company. I did very well for myself, and I can get there again. But I did a few jobs in those condos, and those condos inside are absolutely beautiful. They are enormous inside, but beautiful. All water views, and it's a pain in the butt to get in there, though. Oh, let me see if I can zoom back in. Let me see. There we go. But the water is very, very, very relaxing. Whoa. And it's nice not to be freezing tonight. And we're getting some hours in at least, so that's nice. You guys feel free to talk about what you want in here too. I don't, try to keep it as entertaining as possible. Or just enjoy the view. I can't wait to go fishing again. I haven't been fishing in so long, since I've had my boat, really. I can't say that. I went fishing in September of last year with my daughter. Yeah, we're gonna get there day by day. It's been taking a little bit. I wish if they wouldn't have taken my hours away. Like I said, I had I think if I look on my thing, because it tells you now how many hours you've had totally of watch hours, not monetized watch hours, or towards working on there, because like I said, they took some away, but it shows my overall, and I'd be at like 8,000 watch hours right now, which you only need 4,000 to be fully monetized. 3,000 is our first step. We want, which is what we're 950 shy of. That will open up super chats, and that will open up members, and that opens up some type of store thing. To get paid by ads, we are 1,950 short still. You need 4,000 watch hours for the full monetization. But like I said, we'll have super chats, and we'll have members, and we'll have all that stuff open soon. Hopefully within a month. And then it's going to take probably another month to get it fully, unless we have one heck of a day. We could have one stream, and I've done it before where I've almost been monetized in one day with one stream. So we could have one of those and be monetized instantly. I have to start doing a lot of my own creation stuff too, and not just restreaming, because from what I've heard, they don't like to use your restreams as monetization hours. I might be wrong. I might be, but that's what I heard. So I want to make sure I start doing some of these at least every day too, which I really need to get back in the habit of doing. Like I said, I've just not been feeling well. But I would like to at least 1 hour a day do a regular live stream, and then try to work on why I'm not working on, when the days I don't have jobs, I'll try to cover other things like I should be. I really, really need to get back in the habit of doing that. Like I said, I do apologize. I've been very depressed, very sick. I did not get to watch the State of the Union. No, like the last 2 days, I have been just in a miserable place of mind. I did watch some recaps on it on Facebook today, but it was just a brief summary. I know that the Democrats did not like it at all. But they don't like anything. But I need to find out too, because like there's certain news things, like I don't know what I'm allowed to cover with certain like news broadcasts. I want to do some stuff. I'm really to sit down and do some research on what I'm allowed to, because you see other people, showing like the State of the Unions or the Congress votes or stuff like that, and I think I'm allowed to use those as Fair Act, the Fair Act use, as is public information. But I've got to see, because I'd like to start live streaming those, and so we can watch what happens together. Yeah, you guys watching what's going on in Mexico too? That's pretty crazy. I'd like to cover some of that if it's with the cartel taking over, a lot of Mexico, all that since the attack on their leader. I was reading a little bit on that too. That's kind of freaking. It's just insane. Hopefully all our tourists over there are safe. I would recommend nobody go to Mexico right now. But there's a lot of things that I could be covering myself and making, this where we're just not restreaming people, but things we can actually interact with each other. March 28th, I know there's a big protest here. I will be covering that. I've been all over Facebook lately, so I want to make sure we cover that as well. So you can't. So I'm guessing if they did it, you can. I can as well. Which I want to start doing stuff like that. I think, building this more towards, minus covering my story and trying to get out of this situation, more covering this towards real news that other people aren't, just restreaming streamers that somebody else could easily watch somewhere else. I was explaining this earlier when I went live that I found out I wasn't really live. They have you have people like when Tommy Boy was on, X, it made it really handy because people from YouTube weren't able to see him very much that didn't have an X account. But now that he's on YouTube as well, if I just restream him, I do not get very many views at all, because they'd rather watch his or someone else's. Same thing with JRL. So I want to really focus on finding more feeds where I can, live stream what's actually going on, real news, like how a news channel would kind of do it, but we're just watching it together, and we'll of course put our input in, and you guys can and whatnot. But I think it might be a little bit better that way. I'm not saying that I'm not going to cover Tommy or anybody else like that or protest stuff like that, but it's just my numbers aren't there. When I'm getting 3 or 4 people an hour watching, it's really, really hard to to sit there for 4 or 5 hours and do that for just a few hours worth of watch time. Well, anybody can just watch them over there. I still enjoy watching them sometimes, and when there's really large events going on, like they're doing a big protest or they're doing something huge or there's big information coming in, I'm going to tune to them right away. But when it's been very small and very quiet on the protest and including with the investigation thing going on. So I'm kind of waiting for bigger stuff to happen. So, but now that I know, if Portland Andy did it, I'm sure I can do it. I know he knows, he's been doing this a long time. He knows the rules. I'd really like to sit down and talk to him maybe he had, because he knows the ins and outs and what you can and cannot do without getting in trouble, because he's been doing it for a very long time. So maybe I could message him and he might respond to me. I don't know. It's worth a shot. But we'll see. Yeah, they are, but I don't know why I'm not getting any. Like every time I stream, we have 3 or 4. I don't know if it's a shadow ban. I don't know if it's I'm doing the title wrong, or if it's just people aren't wanting to watch it here. But I've been doing them, and every time I did them, I didn't get very many hours at all. Maybe we'll try it again tomorrow on the Nancy thing, and I'll get up in the morning and we'll go stream have a good a long stream and see how many views we get. And if I can possibly get it, then great, but it's really hard to sit there for a few hours, when there's not very many people talking or watching. I just get kind of bored of it. I really mainly do it to talk with you guys, because I enjoy talking with you guys. I love when you guys chat with me and stuff like that. It makes the stream go by so much better. I don't necessarily enjoy watching it every day all the time, but I usually do it for you guys and for the chats we have. But I need to be getting more progressive with this if I really want this channel to do good anyways. So like I said, I apologize for being sick so much lately. But I'm going to work on doing at least, I want to do it, like I said, just a 1 hour. I'm not going to do super long ones like this, but like a 1 hour a day thing like this. And then I'll work on, trying to get more proactive with the restreaming and coming up with new content as I'm looking for work. Because once I can get monetized, then, I'll make money on YouTube every day. You only get paid once a month, but it's something, that'll help pay towards getting a boat and stuff like that. It might not be a huge amount at first, but, if I can continue to grow the channel, you can make very decent money on YouTube. Not that I would want to do this, well, I mean, not that I could afford to do this full time. I wouldn't mind it if I was making great money off of YouTube doing it, but once I get the boat, I can actually get a real setup too. Because like I said, I'll run everything off of solar. I can build a very nice solar setup where I can run a good computer system, and we can have different views and different things going on off a real computer. And I'll get a Starlink out there and all that once I start working, and I'll have full internet and whatnot. I keep trying to catch these shuttle launches at night, but they do them so late lately. I want to start covering that, because I'm right next to where they do the launches. It's a really pretty sight, especially when they do night launches. I love the night launches. The day launches aren't anything spectacular. You just hear some noise and you see a little smoke string. But at night you get to see the missile flying through the sky, and it's beautiful. Well, the spaceship, not the missile, you know what I mean. But one day I'm going to have my boat right out here, and we can do live streams right from the boat. And that'll be pretty fun. I was thinking about getting a scanner at some point too, and doing following up on some of the police calls and bringing you guys along with. I'd have to get another window mount thing that I had my phone holder on, because mine broke and I have to use my gimbal right now. I can't drive around with my gimbal. It's too hard. I tried that the other day. That just does not work out very well. But I don't know. We're getting there, guys. I'm trying my best. But I'm just so happy it's not cold tonight. Last night was very cold. But I do miss waking up to this view every morning. I wish I could park just right here. I'd be happy just parking right here. I love this place. This is my favorite place in the world. It's just, I don't know, you can have everything on your mind that goes on, and yes, life is very short and days can be very long. I agree. But when I sit here, I can sit there, I can breathe, I can feel like, I can think a little bit when I'm just sitting here, so it's very nice. Oh, here comes in a little skiff. I'm parked over by it. This is where everybody parks their skiff when they go to and from their boats. So far, I've been really lucky in the parking spot I have been in. Nobody's messed with me, and the cops haven't said anything yet. So I'm very lucky about that. I'm knocking on wood that's not going to happen, but I have been doing pretty decent in that spot. I don't like it because it's not a very safe spot. I felt a little better with the dog there with me, but it's a very rough neighborhood. that I park next to. So, but so far everything's gone good. They don't want you, in the good areas, of course. So you're going to a good area, they're going to start yelling and complaining. So you got to go to the bad areas, and that's the only way you kind of really make it, I guess. But it is what it is. Take it day by day. Like I said, I have to meet with somebody on Tuesday for a lunch thing about some work going on. On the 1st, I start paying a little after the 1st. It's like a day or two after the 1st. They're going to let me know on the 1st exactly what day. They're doing something in the wedding, but they're renovating their whole house. And they need a lot of painting done, so it's going to be like about 4 days worth of work. And that lady is also friends with a lot of people who do property maintenance. She's going to try to, if I do a good job for that, she's going to link me up with some people. Your Cash App this week. What day was that at? I got a $17 one and a $20 one a few days. I got a $17 one yesterday, or today, I'm sorry, and a $20 one the other day. But they don't say the 24th. What day is today? Where is it $20? If so, then yes. The names don't match up with your screen name and what you sent for Cash App, but I very much appreciate that. Yes, that fed me for the night, and I put $10 in fuel in, so that did get me a meal and some fuel. And then I put, like today, like I said, I put some fuel in and got to tonight's dinner. Oh yes, then I did. And I do appreciate everybody who has supported. But I think what time does anybody know the normal time JRL Investigates goes online live? Because if I can get a time, I'm going to try to schedule to be online at that time, and we're going to do a full stream with him, not a full day. 7 a.m. like his time or my time. You know what? Well, as soon as he goes live, I'm going to try to go live tomorrow. Regardless, let's try to get in a full day in. Let's try to restream his stream for a full day, or at least close to the full day, and let's just see how the numbers look. If the numbers look right, then we'll continue to do that. If we only have 2 viewers or no viewers, then I won't stay on, of course. But as long as we get a few people here tomorrow, and you don't have to stay all day, of course, but I'm going to stream all day to see if we can try to get a good stream in where we have enough to help with monetization hours. Plus, like I said, it helps you guys out. It helps with people who support the channel as well. So I'll try to do a long stream tomorrow and really get up early and do that and focus on that for the day. And I have I don't have anything work related tomorrow, so I can actually do that pretty good tomorrow. I'll probably take a few breaks in between. I don't know if I'm going to do 12 hours. I might do like 4 hours, take an hour break, do another 4-hour stream or something like that. Unless something big's happening, then we'll stay at it. But my usually, especially in the heat, my phone doesn't like going too long because then it starts overheating. I don't have a way to stay cool. I wonder how he does it where his phone doesn't overheat, because my phone always overheats, and I have a newer phone, not a new phone, but it's not an old phone, and it's not a cheap phone. It's a decent phone. So I don't understand why my phone overheats every time I stream during the day, but during the day is a bit harder. But I'm going to try my best, see what happens. His phone overheats too. Yeah, I don't know why it does it, but it's crazy. You think for as much as these phones cost, that they'd be able to handle a live stream. But my biggest problem is it's going to be in the 70s tomorrow, so it's going to be hot in this fan. So maybe if I can park somewhere in the shade, it'd be a lot better. But we'll see how that happens and how that goes, and go from there, But I want to try to do that tomorrow. I think that would be a good idea. let's just see how it works. You know, maybe I'll have a heck of a stream. You never know, and I can have my numbers like I had before. And that's we grew the channel so fast. It was really fun nights when we had all those people in. And not that I don't enjoy you guys. I love you guys. You guys become like my family. You know, I don't have a family, and that's what you guys pretty much are now. So I don't know, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and log off for the night. We got almost close to an hour in. Tomorrow I will try to start early, so I'm gonna go to bed early tonight. And we're going to try to start early and do a good long day of streaming and see how many hours we can reach tomorrow. Like I said, my first step is 950, then we need another 1,000 after that for ads. So yeah, it's unfortunately during the days are hard, but like even at night, we'll start doing some night streams again too on the protest. It was pushing away some people as well, because a lot of people, some people, I have a mixed community. We have some people who want to see both, which is my journey and the protest. And we have some people who can't stand the protest. I put those on and I lose a lot of subscribers. And there are some people, if I just do this, I lose a lot of subscribers. So it's really hard to keep everyone happy. I'm trying my best, but I really would like to keep a mix in it, because we are technically a news channel. I mean, that's what I want to work this on to be. And we need to continue to cover things that are happening as well, not just the things that are going on in my life and my struggles of being homeless. But I need to make a fair medium where I can do both, because I do have a lot of people who like to know what's going on as well and enjoy knowing my story and enjoy hearing my struggles and following along and how I get out of them and how we work as a team and all that stuff. So it's been great. You guys have been amazing to me. I'll never forget you for sure, and I'll always be here for you guys as much as I possibly can be. But anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and log off for the night. If you guys can, make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you haven't supported the channel, if you possibly can, great. If not, understandable. But my links are above and in the description. So anyways, everybody have a wonderful night. I will be on early tomorrow. Let's try it out on an early stream, and maybe we'll get out doing good. And I'm gonna do a little bit of research tonight on stuff I'm legally allowed to restream as well. And I'm gonna try to figure that out. And yes, I will definitely try to be as safe as I possibly can. Like I said, the area I sleep in is not great, but I'm gonna try my best. And I'm gonna wake up early in the morning. We're gonna go park somewhere in the shade, and just gonna try to figure it out, and let's see if we can get a good long stream going on tomorrow until the phone overheats. If it overheats, I might have to stop in between, figuring out how to cool it down or whatnot. But we'll definitely try to make this more newsworthy, and as well as keeping I'll just limit it to like an hour a day on plus my shorts and my regular videos. But our lives, I'll try to go live at least once a day and have a good long stream for newsworthy stuff. So anyways, hopefully you guys have a great night. Be safe. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. And have a wonderful night. Good night, guys.